Hey, welcome back to what show is this again? Oh,
isn't this Blazor Rocks?
Blazor Train? It's .NET Conf show. What is this? C# Fritz and Friends. What? Blazor Puzzle. Blazor Conf. It's the Blazor Puzzle. I'm Carl Franklin from AppVNext. That's Jeff Fritz from Microsoft.
How do?
And how you doing, man?
It's been a fun couple days, Carl. We know that .NET works pretty much everywhere because we got the command line interfaces. You can use whatever editor you want. So I've been spending a lot of time in March. I like to call it minimal March. And I've been writing a lot of Blazor and .NET code at the command line.
Yeah.
And I've been using Vim to edit my Blazor code. So
wow, old school.
Yeah, no syntax highlighting, no autocomplete, no copilot, and it's really kind of invigorated and got me rethinking how I write code. You know, it's like I could go and experiment with an API when I can just, alt space and tab through some of the options. You don't have that. So I'm going to use what I know.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Let's just, because we have to do some obligatory weather talk.
Weather talk.
Last week, beautiful.
Yes.
This week, freezing again.
Welcome to the Northeast, right? For folks outside the Northeast United States, we had like our preview of spring.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning I woke up to take the dogs out and it was 25 Fahrenheit. Like,
it's just not fair.
No.
Come on, global warming. Bring some of it our way. Okay. That's probably uncalled for, but I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, people who are frying. Let's get into last week's puzzle.
Very good.
So this was yours, Jeff.
Yes.
You put together this little demo of episodes, and the episodes load up, and you get this nice little list.
Yep.
And you can click on details. Bungle a bundle. There's the details.
There you
but
go.
then I'm going to click on another one. Let me go down to upgrade this app. Nothing. So it's literally click once. That's it.
It's the immutable Blazor grid.
Right. I like that. All right. So explain the code here a little bit, and then we'll get into the solution.
Sure. So we wanted to be able to put together a little website that shows here's a list of our episodes. Might be able to click in and see some details. Maybe we want to do a little bit of an administration interface with this. But the problem I ran into here, I've got this very simple description, and it paints information about the episode title, the publish date, and then we want to put a button next to that.
Right.
And when you click that button, get information about that episode, and let's paint it somewhere else in the interface.
So this is the component right here that we're looking at, but if we go to Episodes Razor, that's the page.
That's the page. Yep.
And here's the quick grid.
Yep.
And in this template column, you got the button on click Show Details.
Right.
And, it looks like it should work. Show the details. Showing details equals true. Get the selected episode number.
Yep.
And if showing details is true, we show this component episode details with the episode number.
Pass it in. For that episode number, when we initialize the component, go get the details about it. And the first query that we saw on the previous page might be going and just getting a list, the top level list. And here we might have some of the details with links and synopsis about the puzzle, whatever it is we want to add on here. And it doesn't run a second time.
Now you're sneaky because this isn't actually about button clicks.
It's not.
It's about life cycle events, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had a number of folks who picked up right away and saw, you're pulling a fast one on us, Fritz. That's on initialized, where clearly we can see from the episode's razor, what's happening is you're changing the parameter of number that's being passed in. And when that parameter changes, we want to refresh the contents. So to do that, as Carl is showing us, you should actually be handling on parameter set, not on initialized.
On initialized only happens once.
Yep, just when you first paint that component.
Right, or it reloads, right?
Yep.
On parameter set happens whenever you change a parameter, which is what we're doing here.
Yep.
So if we just make this simple change, now we can run it again and see what happens. Okay. Go to episodes. Click this guy, details, this guy, details.
There it goes.
Details, and it works.
Yep.
And that is the answer. Now, as Jeff said, we got a whole bunch of right answers, and we picked one at random. And Jeff, which way are you going to look?
I'm going to look this way.
When we do the mug. Nope. Other way.
I'm going to look the other way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look this way.
All right. And this week's winner is, drum roll, please, Ben Schimeld from Melbourne, Australia.
Oh my gosh, our first Australian winner.
Yeah, I know. You know, it's interesting. We seem to get more submissions from outside the U.S. than from inside the U.S.
That's okay.
So come on, United States.
Yeah, hey, you Americans out there.
Get with it. You got to play. This is fun.
We could use a Canadian at some point.
Yeah.
Just one.
Send us some maple syrup along with your answer. We'll think about it. And here we go, Jeff. Here's the test.
Okay.
For winning this week, Ben is going to get one of these. A BlazorPuzzle mug.
It's right over there.
It's right there. And he's also going to get one of these. A BlazorPuzzle t-shirt.
It's
coveted.
Look at that. It's right there.
It's right there. And so you can get one too, or get all the swag, but you got to play to win. You got to send in those entries.
Yes.
And with that, let's get to next week's puzzle.
Oh man.
Okay. So what's wrong with this picture?
That's a lot of HTML there, Carl.
Yeah. So where's the HTML? Why doesn't this render as HTML? Well, let's take a look at how we're getting it. First of all, we're loading this from home.md, but also you have installed this Markdig library. If you look here, Markdig, and this is an open source library that parses Markdown. So this is an MD file, and you're parsing it into an HTML string.
Yep. This is kind of a common problem that folks want to be able to do. You want to be able to have rich content on your website. You want to maybe allow folks to be able to key in some markup, but you don't want to give them full HTML. So you let them key in Markdown like this here. Mm-hmm. And in another website that I've been running, I store some Markdown on files on disk. And when I render different pages, I'll just go grab that Markdown, turn it back into HTML, and paint it on the page. So here in on-initialized async, it is the right event.
That is the right event.
I learned my lesson from last week. I'm loading that Markdown file, converting it to HTML using Markdig. That looks like it's working, right? Yeah. And you see on line 7, I just dump the contents of that Markdown content into the Blazor page.
Yeah. So if you have a string with HTML in it, essentially, and you want to show that and render it as HTML, how do you do it? You used to be able to use, what was it, HTML.raw in web forms.
Sure. Does that work here?
Let's see. I don't even think I have an HTML object or anything. So no, it doesn't.
So what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, how do we fix this, folks? So if you think you know the answer to this, don't post it on social media, but instead email Jeff and me at blazorpuzzle@appvnext.com with the subject puzzle number 28. And you could be next week's winner, but you got to get it in there. Come on, United States.
Yeah, let's go. Now, something that I do want to point out, when you look at the source code of this, take a look at what's in that program CS. I actually block folks from being able to browse into that content markdown folder. So
how'd you do that?
Well, I set up a little bit of middleware there, you see on line 22.
Nice.
That just checks to see if you requested the content folder, and if you did, not found.
Hey, that would have been a nice Blazor puzzle, and you wasted it.
Maybe ASP.NET Puzzle.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a great tip. Okay, that's all for us. We'll see you next week.
Take care, friends.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out blazortrain.com and the .NETshow.com for more great content.